I didn't watch. I watched some news, but I didn't watch news 24/7.
Well,
You know.
I mean, we couldn't.
Yeah, we couldn't. We couldn't. We only had like seven channels, so like it wasn't that bad.
The news was on like at 5 and 10.
Yes, yes. I didn't. I didn't. There was a lot of things that wasn't constant. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
asked 18, 30-year-old about crime or danger in our country, you would think that we're falling apart when we're the
Mm-hmm.
safest we've been in 30 years.
Right, right.
But it's anything that happens, it's constant. It's
Mm-hmm.
constant. It's
Right,
constant. So
right.
I think all those things take effect on the mental brain. Like as a
Uh-huh.
parent, my parents be like, see you before it's dark. I would be
Right.
gone.
Yep.
I wasn't allowed to stay in the house. My dad was like, you're not going to sit there and breathe up all my good AC. Like, leave. And this was like 8:30 in the morning. So from like 8:30 to about 6:30 or 7, depending on where I was in the world, because my dad was in the military, I was gone
Mm-hmm. Same.
with no parental guidance.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, it's different now. And I'm like, no, there was people snatching kids then.
Right. There were.
There
Yep.
was plenty of people snatching kids then. If you look at like per capita, the things that were happening as far as violence or anything like that, we were rolling in the 60s,
Mm-hmm.
70s, early
Yes.
80s,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was just a different generation.
Right.
And having all that time, having all that space to do those kind of things, I think changes the way we think. I think it changes the way we move.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think they're being brought up totally differently.
Yeah.
And how do you
Well,
expect
did
them
you
to?
feel like when you would go out for the day, because I would do that too.
Right.
Like, did you feel safe?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think
Not aware. I
everybody
mean,
thought,
those, go ahead.
I think everybody thought they were like tough kids, and we had our friends, and we all rolled like in little packs, like
Uh-huh. Right.
it was like four or five of us, and we're all on our bikes, and
Mm-hmm.
what could go wrong? We're going to play basketball at somebody's house or somebody's school or court on the weekends. We're going to play football in somebody's field. Like
Yeah.
we all kind of really rolled as groups, and I never felt truly unsafe. Besides, like getting into the tussles and fights with other kids from other
Mm-hmm.
groups, but like as far as like what these kids worry about now, getting kidnapped and everything else, we didn't think about that.
Right. Right.
And I think there's just a lot of different symptoms to it. I mean, the overall anxiety that these children have now, not children, I'm sorry, they're adults, 18, 30 year
Right.
old, that generation has nowadays, way different.
Yeah. I mean, I think the current stats are 40% of this age range here has an anxiety disorder,
Oh yeah,
which
definitely.
isn't surprising when you look at, like, again, the 24/7 news that they would just show repeatedly scenes from natural disasters, from wars, things like that.
Well, they don't have to speak to each other. You don't think
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
all had, like the first time you're asking somebody to a dance,
Mm,
like you had to do that in person. Like, yeah, first time that you wanted to make friends at a new school,
hmm.
you had to be pushed out of your comfort zone.
Right.
So, but you're doing this all your life in our generation,
Hmm.
from like 5 years old on.